Today, I'm going to show you how to identify the end of a trend, which is one of the keys to maximizing your profits. We're going to look at Solana, which has a strong sell signal. We have something called an overbalance of price, where it's very likely that the price is going to go below $18 over the coming days and weeks. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and let's dive straight into Solana. We're on a daily chart with Solana, and we've had a nice rise in the price since pretty much January, right? January, end of December, going into January, the price has gone from $8 to as high as $26. That's a 300% increase. However, it looks like we are coming towards the end of a trend. We have a strong sell signal over here. We're going to talk about that. We have a particular pattern. The one that I'm going to pay attention to today is this 1, 2, looks like a 3, 4, 5 over 5. Now, markets tend to move in 5s and 3s, and we want to pay special attention to this. And we have something called an overbalance of price. The biggest move to the downside in this particular sequence, and even if we're looking at this particular sequence, this recent move to the downside indicates to us that this high is likely to hold and that we're likely to see the price go further down. So we're going to go into a bit of detail today. And by the way, if you want to get access to these sell signals, which are really, really powerful to identify the trend and the end of a trend, you can now test it out for £1, 30 days. It's really, really powerful. There's a lot of training in this as well, where it's very simple, just how to set it up. But I'm going to be adding some extra training as well. So it's going to be really, really key for you to identify the end of a trend. So now that we're looking at this, what I want to just break down, I'm going to jump into an hourly chart, and I'm going to come back to the daily chart. So let's just go to an hourly chart. The key thing here with the hourly chart is you always want to ask yourself the question, is the recent move impulsive or corrective? Now, impulsive just means non-overlapping waves. It's like it's more aggressive. And with Solana, if we just look at this recent move to the downside, it's quite impulsive. Like you've got the first leg, some type of correction, and then we've got this next leg down, right? So that gives us a clue that this does not look like a correction. This does not look like a correction, and this high is likely to hold. So what typically occurs after a 5-wave move? Well, typically it's a 3-wave correction as a minimum. So now we're going to jump back into the daily chart. Knowing that the weekly momentum is down, the daily momentum is down, that's what this sell signal indicates to us. I can bring up some indicators here. The dashboard, by the way, you get this as well, the dashboard with the buy and sell signals, and it just breaks down the complicated and makes it really, really simple. And it just tells us consider selling because we're on a strong bear downtrend on a daily and a weekly. So in other words, anticipate that the market should be sideways to down overall, but we identified this in advance. That's really, really key with this methodology because we want to see when we're coming towards the end of a trend in advance. So we know when to short the market, but also when to be locking in profits as well. So when markets finish a 5-wave move, so some type of 1, 2, 3, looks like a 4, 5, this 5 up here, and it's called a wave 5 of a wave 5. What typically occurs is a minimum of a 50% correction, 50% retracement. In other words, this price movement from $8 to $26 has been a nice move to the upside. You should always anticipate that the market is going to move down at least 50%. So I've measured this already, and 50% is $17.59, so below $18. And that's what we were referring to. How long does a correction typically take? That's another great question. So we can really plan in advance. So if I just zoom out like so, there's a typical time, it's called a time retracement. I have some of this in some of my advanced training, but we're just going to take the low to the high. And what this tells us is that we're likely to see Solana move sideways to down 12th of March to the 24th, 25th of March. So we're talking about 6 to 8 weeks of sideways to down. And typically what it would look like, and we don't know this, but we need to plan for this, is some type of aggressive move to the downside, some type of 3-wave pullback, and then another leg to the downside. So what I would like to do is just draw a nice box over here that tells us this is our clear expectations. Now, what you'll see me label this as is the first leg to the downside, labeling it as a 1 or a. Because we don't know, because if this low gets taken out, it might be a whole new trend that continues even further down. But the minimum in either case is some type of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll call that a 108. That's in process right now as we speak. We don't know how deep it's going to go, but it's likely to go down for a few more days at least. Going by the momentum, keeping in mind that the daily momentum has just made a bearish reversal. So this indicates a few more days, 3, 4, 5 days to the downside. And then that tends to coincide with the lows. Like we've got these lows over here. And the momentum can be a very, very powerful tool. And what the dashboard does and the signals, it just simplifies everything for you. So then what we should anticipate after this first leg, some type of move to the upside. It'll typically be a correction and then a second leg to the downside. Now, one of the other things we want to be aware of when we're looking at Solana is the king of crypto, which is Bitcoin. Whether you love it, you hate it, it tends to impact the entire market as well. Now, when we're looking at Bitcoin, we have had a move to the downside, but it's still in this area over here. It's not that far from the top. But if we do get a big follow through to the downside, which is relatively likely, especially if we take out this swing low over here and Bitcoin moves towards $20,000 again, then all of a sudden we may be, again, the whole crypto market moving sideways to down for a number of days, if not a number of weeks. I'm about to, in the next few days, update the Bitcoin report. I have a free membership area for your Bitcoin updates. I do at least one video a week, so we keep a really close eye on Bitcoin, which will help us see what's likely to happen with the rest of the market. You can now access this for free. It's in the link below. Very, very powerful because it's more timely, and we go into a bit more detail when we're looking at the markets. So Solana, below $18 is likelihood. What I'm personally waiting for is after this move, I'm going to wait for the first pullback and then look for nice shorting opportunities and looking to hold that for a number of days, if not a number of weeks. Let's finish on a book. By the way, if you found today useful, share this video because it's very likely, high probability of what we said with Solana today is likely to occur. So let's finish on a quote. We are going with chapter 1. The name of the chapter is actually, You Must Be In It to Win It. And this quote is from Michael Jordan. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. So take the tough route, learn the hard stuff, and eventually the hard stuff does become easy.